So, otherwise, how do I see her as a person? Ooh. I just see her as spontaneously open to suffering and almost militant to help people who were downtrodden or who were victims of anything. And militant, quite strong and ready to take up the cudgel at any minute for poor or afflicted. That's how I see her, really. She'd attack kings or leaders or government people or mayors or anybody if she thought that they were not giving the poor what they needed. Suzanne Aubert had the special saying. It was what she said all the time. Thanks be to God for all he has done and is doing for us, so that God had the glory of all that we did. And as sisters, we used to say it over and over and over again. As we walked along the corridors, we all chanted this. Thanks be to God for all he has done and is doing for us. And there would be about 60 nuns all walking down the corridors chanting this mantra, really. And we said it before we went to bed at night, and we said it when we got up in the morning, and we said it after every meal, and all together. It was in community. So that all along the corridors, and we had long corridors in the old convents, and I think it was 15 times between the refectory and the chapel that we sort of did it, and that was just our daily life. So it was one of the very special prayers of Suzanne Aubert's, and it is still our special prayer today.
Very good.
I don't think we say it along the corridors anymore, but we say it when we go around to ourselves now, because our big communities have gone. We've only got one or two, so it's more private now than it was in those days. Suzanne Aubert still has a big pull on the river. Iwi Māori, the Māori people, they have a big commitment, a wairua for the dead, for the people who, the stars, the whetū, the ones that have shone. They hold on to them. And because they have learned, they're conditioned to think, they're conditioned, that's the way to use it, they're conditioned to think that they are a little less than the European because they're minority, in one way, not among themselves, no, but in society, yes. And if Suzanne was raised up, that would be something that here she is, raised up, and we are going with her. We are raised with her. That's why I say it is so important for her canonisation. Suzanne belongs to the iwi. That's who she belongs to. Doesn't belong to me. I emphasise that. Suzanne did not come to form a congregation. Suzanne came to the people, the iwi Māori, to help them. And they are holding her Māori. You can see how they're holding her Māori. You can see how she is in their hearts, in their memories, in their whakapapa. That's part of them. We're just a little sideline. So that is how our people are holding Suzanne Aubert. It's different from a Pākehā way.
Yes.
In a Pākehā way they might forget, because she's buried now and that's it. To the iwi, Carl. Carly, she lives on. I am a chaplain, yes, I'm a prison chaplain, but I only go when I'm an assistant, I'm not the chaplain, and I go out and sit with the boys and talk to them and try to lift them up and get a better grip of life, because most of those boys, they were victims before they were criminals. They haven't had any chance, and a lot of them are our own boys. And
yeah, we accompany her on Sundays to go there for services.
Yeah, so I've got that group. But I work a lot now in the prison, really. That's one of my main, besides lay ministry and children. I will still do children's camps, what we call camps, but it's a couple of days of instruction and prayer and games and so forth for children. Still do that, and that just about keeps me out of mischief, other than people coming for counselling, and I have done psychology, etc. I've got that kind of thing behind me, and so I can help the people when they get into trouble and become mum for a lot of people roundabout. You know, you're asked to do lots of things. Last week I found myself writing a love letter and I was ringing up, you know, these boys inside. I had to laugh, really. These boys inside. Will you do something for me? Yes, I'll do something if I can. Will you ring her up and tell her this and this and this? And at the last bit, you tell her, I love you, honey. So I have to ring her. And your last message is, I love you, honey. But you do anything that they can't. They can't do it because of the circumstances they're in. And so when you get that desperate, you have to go through a media. But no, it's anybody and everybody, and whatever they ask that I am permitted to, because there are restraints on me too. You can't just do everything that they want. But if you can do it, you do it. Even I love you, honey. For me, it's really Christ in that person. Everybody makes a mistake. We all do. You do, I do, we all do. Sometimes we need to make that same mistake twice before we learn. Or maybe even 3 times. So what? So long as they get right, so long as they strive, and so long as they come to Christ like Mary Magdalene did, it's not a problem, really. It's to get them to stand tall, even though they are where they are. They still have a work to do out there. And I say to them, bloom where you are planted. Just do the good you can do in here.